From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICB Primetime Capper, and it is time for the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. I hope you are feeling the same. And man, oh man, it is one of those days. It's one of them days. You already know it's Tuesday. We're a few days away from Thanksgiving, and you guys already know what time it is, man. We just over here trying to make it. Just be great. That's all I can say is just be great, you know? So that's what it's all about. And pretty much let's jump into our first topic in hand, and that's going to be the NFL playoff picture. NFL playoff picture looking really intriguing at the moment, you know what I mean? And don't say anything. I know the Raiders are up here, but that's the picture that I got. So they're kind of stuck on here, you know what I mean? So you got Kels, big game for the Chiefs the other night in LA, and then a big game for the Cowboys the other day in Minnesota. So pretty much we have ourselves a very fun playoff picture from what I can see here. I'm looking at it now. We have the first seed being Kansas City. We got Miami and Tennessee and Baltimore all in a deadlock, and Buffalo's in there as well too with the 7-3 squads. But we all know that Buffalo will possibly be an AFC leader. And if they're able to get in and say this, if the Chiefs are to lose a game or so, they can go ahead and take that spot in a tiebreaker as well. I'm not worried about Buffalo being the champions of the AFC East. I think that they'll go ahead and not lose another game to AFC East opponent for the rest of the year. I know that's bold, but it is what it is. And as we can see, New England is sitting right here, 6-4. Playoff picture for New England as well too, and then you have Cincinnati 6-4 rounding out the group, and then the Jets are here as well too. The Jets actually are only out of it right now because they do have the tiebreaker over Cincinnati because they did beat Cincinnati, but they have 2 losses to New England as well too. So that's where they're out of the mix right now because they're only 5-4 in the conference as well. And the thing is, with Cincinnati being 3-3, that's where they went out in that situation. But if Cincinnati was to lose next week and the Jets were to win, the Jets would jump right back in here, and we would have it would look like 4 teams coming out of the AFC East this year to be in the playoffs. Now, we see the Chargers are here at 5-5. They're milling right now, and they look like the team that could possibly be there. But then after that, you just cut the list off with the AFC. If anybody has a chance at 3-7, I would say this. It will probably be the Browns because the Browns do have Deshaun Watson coming back, but you have 5 teams all at 3-7 right now. I don't see any of those teams making a last-ditch effort to make the playoffs at this point, but they should be better, and they will be tough games as well too. Now, when you look at the NFC leaders, you have Philly in here 9-1. You have Minnesota 8-2. San Francisco is now the leader in the clubhouse in the AFC in the NFC West after a Seattle bye week. So you have San Francisco here 6-4, but they own the tiebreaker. That's why, and they have a better conference record as well too, being 5-2. The Seattle's 4-4. Then you have Tampa Bay, who has all their wins against the NFC this year, but 5 losses as well. So they're 5-2 against the conference, so they're in here as well. And then you have 2 7-3 teams going at it on Thursday with Dallas and New York. And then you have a 6-5 Washington team that's on the outside looking in, but they seem worthy. And then you have Atlanta, who's still in the race to win the NFC South as well too. But then when you get after that, you got Detroit 4-6, you got Green Bay 4-7, you got Arizona 4-7, you got New Orleans 4-7, you got the Rams, unbelievable right now, 3-7. You got Carolina and Chicago splitting up who's going to be the worst with 3-8. Only reason why Carolina is a little bit ahead because they're 3-5 against the conference, while Chicago is 1-7. So Chicago has played well against the AFC this year, but they just have been atrocious against the NFC this season. But I'm looking at this one right here, and if any team could be sneaky here, it's going to be Washington. You know what I mean? And I think Washington is in a good position because I really do feel like the Giants are going to get in a position where they're going to have to play the last week of the season to get into the playoffs. I think that we're already locked in with 4 of these teams, but 2 of these teams are going to be kind of some teams that you look at and say, and then Green Bay still looms the danger at this point. Yes, they're 4-7, but they can go ahead, and if they finish 9-8, they got a chance. They finish 10-7, they got a chance. But they lose this week, it's over. It's just definitely over for Green Bay in all senses of the word this week. And then Philadelphia, they're on cruise control right now. They'll make the play. They're probably the surest thing in the AFC to make the playoffs. Them in Minnesota, but San Francisco still has to grind it out with Seattle, and Tampa Bay still has to grind it out with Atlanta as well too. So the NFL playoff picture is looking a little formful, but we still do have a little bit of static here at the end. But when you look at how many teams there are with losing records in the NFL, you just tell yourself, man, this is just one of those seasons where you don't have a lot of good teams in the NFL. You know what I mean? When it comes to records, the teams are good, but it's just that a lot of teams struggle here in the first half of the season. There were a lot of close games that a lot of people weren't expecting this year. So it is what it is at the end of the day. The NFL playoff picture is looking mighty good, in my opinion. There's a lot of parity here, and you got to love parity. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic in hand, and that's going to be UCLA. And not the football team, it's the basketball team. Basketball team had a big tournament in Vegas this weekend. The main event, Continental Tires, they played Illinois on Friday, lost that game by 6, and then lost by 5 to Baylor on Sunday. They had leads in both of these games and blew both of those games. UCLA, to me, is a team that is looking to be them boys this year. You know what I mean? But they were the number 8 team in the nation. They should have been far better in that weekend than they were, but they were. It was a tough weekend. Louisville, good. Virginia, very good. Baylor, still good. So it was all ranked teams there, but UCLA would have looked a lot better winning at least a game there. They dropped 2 games very early in the season. That's not the greatest look, but I think that all in all, Mick Cronin coach team. Sometimes when they lose a little bit here in the beginning, they get much, much better as they go as well, too. But I want to see more Amari Bailey as well, too. Amari Bailey was such a defensive upgrade at the 2 position, and he got, I think, about 15 steals this weekend. It seemed like every time there was a loose ball, he was picking it up. Every time that there was somebody not paying attention to their dribble, he was taking the ball away. But the thing was, though, he wasn't finishing the way that he was with the confidence that he was when he was at Sierra Canyon. It seemed like he's trying to submit to the upperclassmen. But my thing is like this: you're supposed to be a super freshman, so you got to do super things. I think that Amari's going to look at tape, and I think Mick Cronin will even go to him and say, I need you to take over. I need you to be the man. And I think Amari Bailey is, once he takes on the reins of being the top scorer for UCLA, the confidence will be superb, and he needs to be the Johnny Juzang of this team. Johnny Juzang was so key because he could score at a high volume and didn't mind, taking certain shots and things like that. And I think Amari Bailey is in that same category. And as long as he just goes ahead and learns from this weekend, UCLA should be in a good spot because they haven't had somebody as good as athletically as he has been in years. So it should be good. He reminded me a little bit of Russell Westbrook, a little bit, but with a better jump shot. So I think that it will work out for UCLA when it's all said and done, but they do need to step it up big time as they move forward as well, too. But it was a good weekend for UCLA. This was a topic I wanted to discuss yesterday, but I didn't have a show yesterday because I got a little busy. I had to do some stuff, that was kind of came up last minute, but we're here today, so it's all good. So let's go ahead and move on to our next subject in hand, and that's going to be the MAC Tuesday night. MAC at Tuesday night. we got good game going tonight with Bowling Green and Ohio. And Bowling Green and Ohio both coming into tonight. Two teams that are chasing some things here. Sorry about that. That's our next game. That's going to be Ball State, Miami of Ohio. But looking at this one tonight, you got a Bowling Green team coming in here, a big upset a few weeks back against last week against Toledo, beating them 42-35. I'm gonna keep bragging about that one because that was huge. 5-1 dog call out for your boy that I gave y'all. But they were coming off winning 3 games in a row prior to that, and then lost to Kent State 40-6. We're a big dog going into that, but I think that they just been kind of overlooked and kind of slighted. This is a game between 1 and 2, and the winner takes all. Seriously here. Pretty much the conference is right now has Ohio leading 6-1. Their only conference loss coming to Kent State this year at Kent, 7-point loss, very close game. But other than that, they have had one close game since, and that was them beating Northern Illinois by 7. Rest of the way, they've been absolutely killer. They've won by 21, 19, 21, 16, and 14. So this team is winning by double digits. They're doing a great job, and this is the final game of the season as well, too, at home. So it's senior night. A lot of things are playing into tonight's game, and it does kind of bode well in the favor of Ohio, who's coming in here literally 6-game winning streak. They're feeling good about themselves. They have one of the better offenses in the nation. They're getting 33 points a game. They have Rourke out here having a career year, 25 touchdowns, over 4 interceptions for 3,256 yards this year. Their quarterback is absolutely insane. And then they're having their running backs having a great year as well, too. Ben-Gura has 10 touchdowns. So there's a lot of things working out in Ohio's favor that says Ohio, 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 Ohio. But you can't sleep on Bowling Green. Bowling Green is a team that they don't stick out on paper when it comes to their stats, but their quarterback is having a good season. McDonald is thrown for 21 touchdowns, 5 interceptions this year, 2,400 yards, 24-19 to be exact. And then they got a pretty well-balanced running game as well, too. But it all comes down to that receiver play, and Hilary and Broden have been so good this year. 11 touchdowns combined for these two studs, and they pretty much have been the bulk of the offense this year as well, too. So there's a lot of things that you look at with Bowling Green that says, okay, Bowling Green should be effective tonight. But I still think at the end of the day, this one will wind up being a very, very pro-Ohio game. But I think that the weather plays into this one a lot, and I think that the under is going to be a strong play here as well, too. So I have some bets for you guys when we get to Talkin Tickets, so you guys be ready for that. But all in all, though, this will be a very, very fun game tonight. This will settle some things in the conference as well, too. The winner gets to the championship game, and that's exactly what they're here for, and that's exactly what they're trying to be. That's where they're trying to be at, is in that conference championship game in Detroit at Ford Field, and they're trying to win the East, and Toledo is in the driver's seat to win the West, but they still need a little bit of help too this weekend as well. Their game comes up on Friday, so it should be fun, and I look forward to how this is going to play out. But good things coming. All right, so with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. When I get back, it's time to talk hoops. We got college basketball to jump into, and we got the NBA as well, too. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll Have Another, and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right, we got a good one for us tonight in Maui, actually in Lahuni. It's crazy because they moved the game from Chaminade University to where the Hawaii University plays at and everything. So game's a little different now. You know what I mean? It's not played in that hot gym anymore. So it has a little bit of space to it. So the upset alert is really not on as hard as it used to be, because you could get hot in that gym and it could really be a bad day for a big favorite. But this is a tournament that really tells teams who they are. But I don't think that this Maui Invitational has the names here that really get you excited. But Creighton and Arkansas coming here, two top 10 teams. Creighton is playing very lights out basketball. You have Arkansas, who's playing Arkansas is playing pretty good right now. They got a good squad, a bunch of freshmen as well too that are big time players, and then they still got some really good. They still got some good upperclassmen as well too. You got Devontae Davis, who's still there, who played with this team when they went pretty far in the tournament a few years back, and that team was very hyped up as well too. He's coming into his third season already. He's having his best year as well, too. And he was a highly touted player coming into college. Now, you have Ricky Council, who's out here, who's transferred from Wichita State. He's having himself a good year right now with the getting set. He's leading all scorers with 17.8 coming into the game. And then you got Anthony Black, who's the freshman. He's looking good as well, too. He had himself a really good game against Louisville the other night. He went off against Louisville. He dropped 26 against them last night. So that's somebody that you have to look at as well, too. Big-time freshman there. But then you got Cal Brenner, who's a big-time player for 7'1" for Creighton. He comes into the game. He had 10 last night. And his best game of the season came against North Dakota. But he's coming in here averaging 15.2 a game, and he's also getting 6.6 rebounds a game as well, too. So those are some good numbers for a guy who's just improved since his freshman year here. And I think that he's coming into his own as well, too, the big-time junior. Then you got Kaluma. Kaluma's coming in here, sophomore. He's averaging 14.4 a game. He got 18 last night against Texas Tech in a nice win there. So he was very helpful in that victory last night. And then you got Trey Alexander. Trey Alexander was really good last night as well too. He was he had 17 points, was 2 for 2 from deep. So that works out very well for Creighton coming into the game. He's averaging 12.4. And then you got Shireman, who's coming in here. Spent his first 3 years at San Diego State, transferred, and now is transferred over here to Creighton. And he's a kid that is from Nebraska, so he's a local kid. He went and played in California for a bit, comes back home trying to, stick it, find his spot. He had 11 last night with 12 rebounds as well too. So this team is doing a lot of the right things moving forward. So, it's going to be a really good game tonight. I think Creighton actually winds up winning this game tonight as well, too. I think that Arkansas will be an overbet by a lot of bettors tonight. And I really do like this game. And the final two games of the night are really good in the Maui Invitational as well, too. Those are the winners bracket, the winners bracket since Creighton and Arkansas won, San Diego State won, and Arizona won. So we're in the winners portion of the bracket. In about 30 minutes, we got Ohio State playing against Cincinnati in the Battle of Southern Ohio. So that should be good as well, too. So we'll see how that one goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But Creighton and Arkansas our game of the night, our game of the day, the Maui Invitational. So you guys check it out, and you guys can always go to Bet Us and use my link, so you guys can go ahead and sign up and go get those bonuses as well too. And then if you guys do sign up, please let me know, and you guys will get the month of December free with Primetime Sports Investors exclusive client cards. All right, so we have that, and we move forward from there, and let's go ahead and talk about the Lakers. And the Lakers winners of 3 in a row, to be exact. And this is out without LeBron, but we knew that was coming because the Lakers actually have an easier part of their schedule. They were able to beat a Nets team that's kind of going through the motions a little bit, but the Nets are much better. We'll talk about that in a second when we talk about their game. But the Lakers, at one point, were 2-10. Now they're 5-10. You know, the Lakers started off the month with a win, and then they wound up losing 5 in a row. They got a good 13-point win against Brooklyn on last Sunday. They come back around, get 5 days off, beat the Pistons by 7, and then they had their best win of the year, beating the San Antonio Spurs by 31 points. So that was very helpful for the Lakers, and it was very helpful for the Lakers to win 3 out of 4 at home as well too. So that should keep the home crowd pretty happy. And overall this month, they're 4-3 at home. So they're starting to pick it up. They're starting to be much better than the team that started the season. And that's why I kept trying to tell you guys is that it's not really about right now with the Lakers. It's about, let's talk to me in about January to see where they're at, because the Lakers were destined to not have a great record to start the season off, but now they're playing against teams that aren't that good. Detroit and San Antonio, they smoked them, no problem. They could have beat Sacramento that Friday, but things got a little loose there at the end. They blew that one. But other than that, the Lakers have been much better this month than they were to start the season off, in my opinion. So I think that the Lakers winning 3 in a row is a great confidence boost. And then they get San Antonio 2 days in a row. They get San Antonio Friday and Saturday. Yes, the games are in San Antonio, but they just smoked them by 31 points. So this is a confidence boost for them. Then they come back home, 2 more games. They got Indiana next Monday, and then they also have Portland at the end of the month. So, you know, there's things working in the Lakers' favor. Tonight they go against Phoenix. Phoenix has the upper hand here. Phoenix has dominated the Lakers over the last few years, but that's just Phoenix getting they get back, because the Lakers spent a lot of time beating them up for years as well too. You know, you got to understand the Suns just got good again. So, you know, it's just kind of been back and forth, but this is a tough month for Phoenix. Phoenix is a team that keeps switching off wins and losses, and pretty much they haven't had a consecutive wins since October. They win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose 2, then win one, lose one, win one, lose one. So literally right now they're 4-5 for the month, and I don't think they've had a losing month in some time now. So they get the Lakers tonight after a good win over the Knicks on Sunday. They beat the Knicks by 21 points. Now they come back around, play the Lakers. And they've been much better at home. You know, they've done their thing. They've only lost 1 game at home, but they've only played 5 games at home too. So, you know, and the one loss that they did have, they lost by 2 to the Blazers. So, you know, the Suns much better at home, but I think the Lakers will still catch them off guard tonight, because they don't expect the Lakers to do much. They don't have LeBron tonight, but AD is playing out of his mind. He's playing like somebody told him that he was going to get his knees broken or something. You know what I mean? So, you know, he's caught on, and he really just doesn't want to look bad in LA. It's just that simple. So, you know, at the end of the day, Suns, Lakers, always a great game. We never know how these games are going to go. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it checks out. But everything is looking pretty good to me, looking pretty steady. So it is what it is. Lakers won 3 in a row, and ain't nobody talking about that. You know what I mean? But watch them lose tonight, and everybody will come out and act like they Pat Riley reborn. And then once again, the Warriors get the pass. Warriors lose by 45 last night, and we're still not talking about it. But it's okay. It's okay. All right, so we move on. Let's go ahead and jump into NBA Tuesday night. NBA Tuesday night is looking real good. We got ourselves 4 games in the association, but I'm only going to talk about 3 because I already talked about the Lakers. So we got the Nets 8-9, going against the 76ers, 8-8. And this is a good game if we were all full, if it was fully loaded. It's not fully loaded tonight. We have a lot of guys out. Tyrese Maxey's out for the next month. Joel Embiid, I don't know what the true status of him is tonight, but if they are an 8-point dog tonight, I would say that he's probably a 50-50, and we know Harden's not going to be back for a while. So pretty much we have Embiid has mid-foot sprain, and you got Harden out here with the tendon strain. You got Maxey with the foot, and then Tobias Harris has some hip soreness, so he's still a game-time decision as well, too. But you look at the numbers, and Joel Embiid is playing out of his mind right now. Over 12 games, he has 32. He's averaging 32 points. Tyrese Maxey, 22.9 in 15 games played. And then you got Harden with his 9 games played, 22 points. So literally you have all their top scorers out tonight, but they're still trying to give them an opportunity to win this game. That's hilarious to me, but they do have a full squad. They do got a lot of guys that can play. That's the whole thing. So, that's something that they are looking at and something that can work out for the Nets. And then you have the 76ers. You have the Nets coming into this one. I'm talking about, I just got done talking about the Sixers, but you got the Nets coming in here very good this month. The Nets are 6-3 actually 6-4. I'm sorry. And they're much better, man. That's all I can say is that this team went from being 2-7 at one point. Now they're 8-9. So this team has been really good. Especially in their last 6. They've won 4 out of 6 of those games. And they have been able to piece together consecutive wins, unlike they did in the month of October. So they've done that all month. So they win and they win again. They got a good win the other night against Memphis at home. And then they got a good win in Portland on Thursday night as well, too. After losing by 32 and 13 in the previous games before that. Then also got a good win over the Clippers this month. Got a strong, thorough win over the Knicks at Barclays. And they seem to be on the good foot right now. Kyrie is back in full effect as well too. You have Kevin Durant going for 30.4 a night. You got Kyrie with who's back. And he's averaging 25.4. And like I said, if you can get these guys to do that most nights, the Nets are hard to beat because that's Shaq and Kobe numbers right there, man. And that's what a lot of people got to look at. When you got 2 guys going for 30 each, you bench don't need to do much. So the Nets are hitting their stride somewhat, and we'll see how it goes. But we got a spread of +7.5 and over under of 217.5 tonight, which what it opened up with. So it's going up as we speak. It's at 8 right now. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it checks out. But Sixers Nets should be a fun one tonight. Let's see. Let's move on to our next game, which is going to be pretty good. It's going to be between the Kings and the Grizzlies. You got a Kings team that's playing so good right now. The Kings actually right now, after an 0-4 start to the season, they are 9-2. They have played great basketball all month. They really impressed everybody because they went on a nice streak, and they're streaking again at winning 6 in a row after they had won 3 out of 5 to get everything together. After that 0-4 start, they've been a winning team since. You know what I mean? So pretty much, like I said before, 9-2 record moving forward right now. They have probably their longest winning streak in some time now as well too, and they're winning these games convincingly as well. And all these games aren't at home, but 5 out of 6 of them were at the house. And one of them was in LA. But still, they go on the road tonight. They got Memphis. Memphis is a team that beat them by 15 earlier this year at Sacramento. Then they have Atlanta and Boston to wrap up this road trip, and then they're back home against Phoenix and Indiana in the month. So, the Kings could possibly sneak into the playoffs this year. You want them to get into the playoffs because they've been out of the playoffs for so long. but you still know that they still got a long season to go, and a lot of and they're just playing very good because they're healthy, and that's something that they haven't been for a long time. So that's something that's working in their favor as well too. So we'll see how this one sets up. But I do like the Kings a lot tonight. Grizzlies with no Ja Morant, so that's a 50-50 call with them on how they're going to respond, and on how and will they show up the way that you would think a hard-working Grizzlies team would show up. So there it is, Kings at Grizzlies. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out, and we move from there. All right, so we have ourselves our next game coming up, which is going to be a game that's probably going to be one-sided in the betting on the betting pool, because you have a Nuggets team that they're kind of struggling. They got some injuries as well too, but nobody's playing as bad as the Pistons though. The Pistons is playing terrible basketball at this moment, and they are just wishing and hoping for the draft already, dude, because it's just not good right now. This team has lost 7 games in a row, and they've actually dropped 9 out of 10 games this month as well too. After I wouldn't. They won their first game of the season, then lost 5 in a row. Then got a good win over Golden State, beating them by 14. Then came back around, got a good win over Oklahoma City earlier this month. But since then, they just been absolutely dreadful, and they have not even been close in any of these games. Now, the Clipper game, they only lost by 5. The Toronto game, they only lost by 4. But the rest of these games, they literally were out the game before the game even started. So, pretty much it is what it is. But they're giving up a lot of points too right now. So that's something to look at. And then you got the Nuggets, who are dealing with their own lingering injuries and things of that nature, but they're trying to get through as well too. You got Jokic out with the health and safety protocol. Same thing with Murray as well too. And other than that, they still have their guys. You got my MPJ 16.3, so that he should be called upon a little bit more tonight. Aaron Gordon as well too. So we'll see how it goes. And then KCP out there getting his 12.1. So the Denver's going to be in this. You know what I mean? Denver is going to make it happen because his team is shooting at almost 50% as well too. So we'll see how this one shapes up. We'll see how it shakes out. But I like Denver tonight. I like the way, but I like the scoreboard more than anything. I think that tonight might be a game where we get an under situation. So we'll see how this one goes, man. Pistons are just not good at the moment. They'll start messing up the money soon, but not right now, in my opinion. But you see it's a 5.5 for a reason, because they're telling us that the Nuggets aren't that strong of a favorite tonight, and it makes total sense when you don't have 2 of your top players there. All right, so there it is, man. So what we're gonna do now is go ahead and take another quick commercial break, and when I get back, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into talking tickets. So you guys stay tuned. This is the premier sports betting show with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Kappa.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back with the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles, live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper. So let's go ahead, jump into our group, and up first we have Ball State and Miami, and this one is going to be Ball State all day, every day in this one. I like Ball State in this spot. I'm going to take them with the plus 110. Then we have the over 21.5 first half as well. And then we have the plus 5 with the Ball State. I think that I might have skipped this one on the preview, but yeah, when you look at it, you got two teams that are playing for bowl eligibility right now, and it's you know what I mean. Both were 5-6 and everything, 5 and 6. I just can't believe I skipped out on it, but I didn't mean to, y'all. I didn't mean to. You know, just we did shows prior, but that's the plays tonight for Ball State, Miami, and then we have BGSU at Ohio. Then I love BGSU in the first quarter. I got Ohio covering the first half, and then I got us playing the under. I think it's going to be a really good game that winds up being an under game, but I think that Ohio wins this one by a touchdown or better as well, too. But it's tough to take the spread in this spot. I really, truly think that the Ohio first half is the better play here because we're getting 4 points, and I think they could be up by a touchdown by then. And what I'm calling out in the first quarter is a tie game. That's why I'm putting BGSU as the team to cover. I'm not saying that they should be up a silly amount of points. It's just that if it's a tie, they would get the tie. So it is what it is. All right, so we got the Empire Classic in Brooklyn, baby. We got Temple with the money line minus 120. Then we got Syracuse with the plus 140. We'll see how this goes, see how it checks out, but this should be another really good game. Then we also have Fordham with the minus 11, and then we also have plus 7 with the UCSD San Diego. And then we also have the Yale money line with the plus 100. Also rocking with Weber State with the plus 6.5. And then we have the minus 6 to UTEP tonight. And then we got Wright State in a neutral game as well, too. They're playing in Henderson tonight at the Dollar Loan Center. So we'll see how that one goes. Single what you like. And we talking them tickets. And then we end up in the NBA, 13-1 plus 8 on the 76ers. Kings money line tonight. Under 222 with the Pistons and the Nuggets. And then we got the over 26.5 with the Lakers and the Suns. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it shakes out. This should be a lot of fun for us tonight. I feel good about it. I hope you feel the same. And we just move forward from there. I think that we have ourselves a winner here tonight with the pick 4, and hopefully we can get us a winner tonight with the pick 6 as well too. So let's see how this one goes, man. We killed it in the MAC last week. Hopefully we can continue that run today, but you never know. You know how it is. One week you're really good, and the next week it's you should retire. So it is what it is, man. And pretty much, man, that's it. And that's all, man. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys are the absolute best. And as I always say, bet with your head, not with your heart. The movement is moving. This is the premier sports betting show, the PrimeTime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Kappa. And I'll be right back at you tomorrow for some more great sports bets and some more great sports analysts. You guys make sure to keep tuning in, retweet, share, whatever you got to do. Let's get the numbers up. Love you, Pops. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.